We have got fucking apocalyptic shit happening on a daily basis.
He's huge. He's been around for a while. I don't know why he's news again.
It's a bunch of shady fuckers. Like it's like legalized corruption.
I'm sorry. Save the child, but fucking shoot the parent.
Well, there's a campaign slogan.
Is it Gwyneth Paltrow?
This shit happens every day in prisons across America.
I mean, that's got to go viral, right?
Are you saying the creator of this world is smarter than we are?
Pause the goddamn show. Do the sex. Come back. All right. Welcome to another episode of the Braver, Newer, Worlder podcast. I am Josh Wagaman, a.k.a. the Part-Time Buddha. With me, as always, are my buddies Krynock and AI. How you fellas doing tonight?
Good. How are you, man?
I'm doing all right.
Wonderful.
And I say Krynock and it's chronic, and it was like, that's just like interchangeable to me. I even looked at your name as I was saying it on my screen. I'm like, you just totally said that wrong. I know, right?
You pronounced mine correctly, if that helps.
2 letters. So, yeah. In case I didn't say it, here we are in the year of the apocalypse, July 7th. We've survived the America 250, which I felt kind of in parentheses had, hey, it's been a good run. Like, it was like a subtext kind of hanging in the air. But before we get to all that, I will update you guys on like what you had just asked me. We were supposed to have a guest tonight, a guy by the name of Jim Logan. He is a triathlete and a cancer survivor, and he wrote a book. And he, I guess how you sell books these days is you like hire some service to help you promote. And I got an email like, hey, I've heard about your podcast, blah, blah, I want to come on. And I'm like, so I did a little pre-interview call with the guy. And I'm like, how in the world did you even find us? And that's like, he's like, that's what he told me. He's like, yeah, it's just you hire the service and then they go out and find anybody for you to talk to. And he's like, man, I've already done like 25, tiny little podcasts. And he's like, it's cool. Like, all right. So I read the guy's book. We'll put the links up on Instagram and whatnot. I finished the guy's book this morning while I was getting my vehicle service, and we're going to interview next week when it works for him. So that's what's up with that.
Okay.
I like it.
Yeah, I think that'll be very, very cool. And hey, if that's the way it is right now to sell books, well, maybe hopefully we get more requests for very interesting people to chat with. So all up for it.
I'd love talking to all of them. Yeah.
For sure. I just kind of let them know like, hey man, we're just pretty conversational. And I was like, I'll read your book for sure. And, get some relatedness. And there's absolutely some relatedness. He's, construction and home inspection. Like, yeah, so, okay. We relatedness was all over the place. Plus his book was really good. So I recommend it. And like I said, we'll put the links up and everything.
And
like
you used to run cross country. Not that that's triathlon. But,
absolutely not even close. I ran 5Ks and he's doing like they do a marathon after 116 miles on the bike and like
12, maybe 116.
Around
that's
there.
The Ironman. I don't know if the triathlon.
That's what he's doing
okay.
right now. He's in the process of training and raising money for the Ironman in Hawaii in like 3 months, if I'm not mistaken. So the big one. So, and yeah, he got put on the team to compete in that one.
Cool.
Yeah, so very cool.
Friggin' incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to it. So, but in the meantime, we'll just talk about, I don't know. Did any of you guys like watch the soccer? Which part of it?
Hell
Like,
yeah.
what do you want to talk about soccer?
I have enjoyed all of it.
I mean, good. Positivity.
I was not a fan until 2 weeks ago, and now I am a fan.
All right, so like, what is it? Is there like storylines? It's certain teams just sticking out? What's
I'm
happening?
actually enjoying the game. Now, granted, it's pretty much the highest level of competition there is, so that helps. Now, don't ask me to go watch your nephew or niece play a little rec league. I don't know if I'd be into that, but the way I am with hockey too. I got introduced to the Red Wings when I lived in Detroit. Moved down south and go to this minor league game. I was like, oh. So I think the level of competition, the skill level matters, I think.
Sure. Yeah, I've watched hockey at different levels, and sure, the speed and the, just watching bad passes as opposed to crisp tape to tape, like just like it's flipping routine for these guys. Like they make the incredible look mundane, and that's why they're the best at it. So I got that. So who are you pulling for since, we got Cheeto dust on the team, and they got whooped last night.
Fake news. We didn't lose. Everybody knows we won. There's going to be a recount. We're looking into it. Everybody with half a brain knows it was a con job. But right now, I can't pull for them. I think I'm going to pull for England. I think. A good friend of mine. A good friend of mine's a big Premier League fan, so he flies to the UK like once a year. And he texted me. He's like, "Hey, if you like that U.S. match out England versus Mexico, which was a few days ago, and he was there in person. Good Lord. Did you watch it? It was awesome. I mean, it was just fantastic."
Okay. What round are they at now? Is this the round of 16?
They're all in the quarterfinals now.
Okay, so they finished the 16, so they're at the round of 8?
Yeah.
And that they're done with 16, so the round of 8 will start soon.
It might have started today. I'm not sure.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
We've been checking in here and there, just like when it's on TV at night and whatnot, and just kind of hitting the headlines. And
but you mentioned, of course, the U.S. team. I'm sure you probably heard the story about the star player who got the red card. Okay.
Yep.
So a red card.
Then he got back in, right?
Well, a red card, eventually, yes. But a red card means not only do you get ejected from that game and you play shorthanded because you can't substitute. So you play shorthanded the rest of that game, plus the next game, the guy has to sit out. Uncle Donnie didn't really like it, so he called FIFA. He's like, "Hey, can we do something about it? That wasn't right." FIFA do have the right to review the tape. They said they did it, and Uncle Donnie's call didn't have any bearings on their decision, but they met and they decided, yeah, let's state him. And of course, the rest of the world is like, it's not good optics, man. Not good optics.
Well, not only that, wasn't it a pretty blatant foul?
I don't think so. I think a yellow card was certainly warranted.
I thought he stepped on his foot, is what I read.
All right. I'd have to look at it again.
Okay, because that part, I thought that's what I read. Like I said, I didn't really go look into it any deeper. But yeah, sure. I mean, after they make up a fucking peace prize for him, and then he gives them a call and say, "Hey, I think we've been treated very unfairly over here." Like,
well, the irony is this guy is only a U.S. citizen because of
the birthright citizenship.
Right, citizenship.
That Trump wants to end.
Yep.
Yeah,
but he can't because he's overturned it. Thank God, the Supreme Court.
They don't do irony, man. I keep telling you, it won't work.
Nope.
No,
not at all.
Now, I'm personally not for this specific case of right to citizenship. His mom was visiting the U.S. She was evidently way too pregnant to be doing so, and they would not let her board the plane to go home. So she had to give birth here, didn't want to. So they had to give birth in the U.S. And then as soon as he was born, then they fly back. So I don't think that should count as citizenship, personally.
Right. It's not exactly like you've been, even if you've been illegally squatting here, like you're trying to live here. Yeah.
It's almost like, well, in her case, it's like, damn, you should at least be able to opt out.
Right.
Yeah, you don't have to force people.
You shouldn't be forced to be a fucking citizen. Like, no, thanks, I'm good.
What country was she from? Norway or Sweden?
I think it's an African nation.
I thought it was more like, I thought it was an African country.
And I'm only saying that because you know how Trump and them want to have all those, Aryan nations. Those are the immigrants we want, not anywhere else. Which I don't care where you immigrant from, but.
Do you guys remember like it was probably back with like the Tea Party and Mitt Romney were like the craziest things that the Republican Party had to offer? I know it seems so fucking quaint now, and it may have even been before that. But like anytime we had like a natural disaster, they would blame it on the gays or like the United States allowing like gay culture to take over and all their fucking scary buzzwords and all that crap that they say. You remember that?
I do.
We have got fucking apocalyptic shit happening on a daily basis. And then that orange maniac goes and lights off so many fireworks. He poisons the air in DC, and it looked like the fucking end of Apocalypse Now, and Saigon is glowing. Like, right? Not a word.
No. It was amazing, but
you show
it's
these
amazing.
people the fucking literal end of the world, and they're like, "I just love the way he thinks like me."
The red, white, and the blue were so
Like, right?
patriotic.
Like, what a fucking weird death cult, y'all, man.
It is. It is.
We went with our parents up in the mountains for
Oh,
the
I'm
4th.
sorry.
Not out on the balcony at the time, but my sister and dad were having a conversation. My mom's on the other end of the balcony having a phone conversation. And evidently she says loudly enough for my sister to hear, yeah, we can't celebrate the way we want because the kids are with us.
Jeez.
Wow. Like, what does that even mean at this point?
It means we didn't go with them to the flag waving, whatever.
Okay, maybe they were going to sacrifice a goat, man.
Maybe.
Like, I don't know anymore. They're like,
Yeah.
normalcy is out the window. Idiocracy seems like a sitcom at this point, just another, run of the mill sitcom. Like,
Yeah.
Nothing to see here. Standard fare.
pretty much. Like, I search for ridiculous headlines of the week because Dawn loves them and they're fun, right? Nothing comes close to what's going on. Like, I'm going to have to find some better sources because, like, at this point, we've got God knows how many brain cells fucking the Mango Madman has left, but we're pretty sure Mitch McConnell's just being fed a drip to stay alive at this point. Have you guys heard about this stuff?
I think even more than that. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, he's just he's on life support because they fear a special election. Like, right? The man who stole the fucking Supreme Court seat right out from under Obama and the Democrats and the country, to be fucking fair about it, right?
Yeah.
They're just like putting him on a fucking morphine drip to keep him technically alive for as long as they can.
At some point, if I were the other party, I would have to insist on a personal visit to make sure he still is alive.
Well, yeah, funny you should
Funny you should mention.
Oh,
okay. I didn't read the details, but I was scrolling through some shit, and apparently 3 different Republican Congress people made statements today claiming to have spoken to. They basically 3 of them made the exact same fucking statement, saying they talked about the exact same fucking shit. Like,
Not good
they
enough.
all got the email.
We need eyes on him. Yeah.
Go ahead and check the pulse. Yeah,
and his
ask him
wife
some questions.
evidently like bolted to China. Like, as soon as something happened, like she bolted to China 3 days ago. Like, because they purposely don't want there to be any power of attorney. Like, right, they don't want anyone to be able to like sign off and like pull the plug on him. There isn't a power of attorney on him, like, on purpose.
Shit.
It's kind of morbid, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
very fucking morbid.
I mean, how desperate do you have to be to try to maintain power at all costs?
So, chronic totally broke my concentration, and I cannot focus until I find out what's in this box now. What's in the box? What's in the box?
Donuts.
Never know.
Is it Gwyneth Paltrow's head? What's in the box?
Oh, please be donuts.
Goddamn box.
Please be donuts.
Show me what's in the box.
Nothing.
I don't know. There's nothing in there. I just needed to set its emptiness so that I could set the computer, the laptop up off my lap.
I'm very let down
space.
now.
All he needed was the thickness of the box. He didn't need the contents. That is, that was very anticlimactic.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're used to like at least like a fucking guy in a monkey suit creeping up behind you or some shit. Like, that was just
It could be very banal, or just been just kind of boring tonight, I guess. Up here, unless we get I say I am at the parents' house, so if they could crash into the room at any time. What are you doing in here? How's the blogging going?
Are you guys on MySpace?
Yeah.
That's funny.
There. That's good old stuff. Maybe, it's fun hanging out with the parents as they get older.
Yeah.
It's good times. I enjoy it.
Oh, that's cool.
Trials and tribulations of adulthood. But yeah, everyone survived this weekend. We did all our fireworks here. We had the whole family around. No one got hurt. No one lost fingers or thumbs or hands. We did the family had to put down a dog. Volunteers that time. That was sad. But luckily we're all here to support the, because it's one of those things you gotta do, it's part of life. First time the kids had to do it, so life lessons. But just thinking about getting another dog and what's
If
that?
you want to teach him another lesson, we've got a cat y'all could put down. We're trying. This motherfucker just won't die.
Well, we can do it. We know a guy who will do it. In fact, at those warrior dashes that I was telling you about the last time. In fact, the one where I lost to my sister in the aftermath of that wonderful day while we're sitting around drinking back at the campsite, my dad my sister had said something about a cat this is years ago. My sister had lived with my parents for a little bit, moved out, and left a cat there. She said something about missing the cat. The cat was gone. And Dad said, "Oh, I had Jim shoot that cat, a few years ago." And it got quiet. And my sister got mad at both Jim, who's our neighbor, and my dad, for, "You didn't tell me. It's been so many, like, da, 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 da." And my dad was like, yeah. Because my dad just thinking, it's like, "You left your fucking cat at our house. It was pissing everywhere. I didn't want it anymore. You should have come and got it." And my sister's like,
Wow.
"But you killed it." It made the rest of the night awkward, to say the least. So it was
Yeah.
good old times. So if you got a cat, bring it up here. We'll get rid of it.
Yeah, Frankie. I mean, he's old. He's been spending like most of his time like under one bed, under the bed in the guest room. Dawn brought a litter box up into that room because he was making messes, and he's like barely wants to go outside, and he does this thing I guess cats do when they're old, and they say they're in pain, but he is not showing any signs of any like pain. Like he's not whining, he's not doing anything, but he makes this like hiss, like right. But it literally just sounds like his version of like "get off my lawn." Like he's just fucking grumpy, like "get out of my fucking way," like right.
Grumpy cat.
Yeah, totally. But now he wants to like he's been wanting to like come up on the bed and snuggle with Dawn. He used to sleep on the pillow between us, like forever. That was his spot, and then I don't know, several months ago, he decided nope, and he just been kind of chilling out under the guest bed. And we were like, okay, now it's only a matter of time. And I'm like, I come home from working in Arkansas. I'm like, he's still fucking alive. Like Dawn's like patting. I'm like, just cross the Rainbow Bridge, buddy. It ain't that bad. Like, dude, it's your time. Like we're talking to him.
Go towards the light, Frankie.
You're seeing the difference in end of life treatment between cat owners and dog owners.
Yeah.
Segue there. An ex-girlfriend had a son who was the sweetest little boy. He was probably like 6 at the time, and they had a dog, like a golden retriever, I think, something like that. And the dog wasn't that old or whatever. He just very nicely goes, "Mom, I wish the dog would die so we could get a cat."
Very wild.
Evidently, she had told him before, "We can't get a cat as long as we have the dog." So
only
that
one
was
pet at a
his
time.
solution. That was his solution.
Straightforward logic.
There you go.
Get rid of it.
So anything else in the headlines in the last week or so stand out to either one of y'all?
I know something has.
You've just been watching soccer and probably packing and getting ready to move, huh?
Yeah, packing, getting ready to move. But I know I've been saving some stuff. Let me look at my emails here real quick.
No. There was a black bear sighting in Cleveland, in the suburbs of Cleveland this week. That's kind of unusual. Didn't do anything. Wasn't shot by the police. Mistaken for any ethnicities. It escaped into the wilderness again. So that's good.
That's interesting. I saved a photo that I saw online that it says, "I've seen police beat, the elderly. I've seen police beat black people. I've seen police beat, women. I've seen police beat whatever, but I've never seen police beat a white supremacist." So I was curious to take those out. Like I was going to give AI a project if you had time. I was like, I'll send you the picture and you put them in like a search and you check the results, like for each one, like how many Google results or how many YouTube results would there be for each one of these things to see like how many more times do these people get beaten than these people.
That could be fun. Okay.
So, fun might not be the right word, but okay. It might be informative.
Yeah.
I just wanted to check and see if that shit was like for real. I mean, it's one of those things like, boy, it sure seems real because I don't, I haven't seen the police really giving anybody in khakis or wearing masks or waving Nazi flags a hard time, really. And I'm like, well, you don't see sharks eating their own either. So you don't see Superman and Clark Kent at the same time either. Same reasons.
Geez, what, someone disappears and comes back. Geez, what happened here? I don't know. What happened? Oh, sorry, I still have my mask on.
Yeah.
Speaking of Superman, just movies. Have either of you seen the new Spielberg movie? I have not.
What?
Spielberg Alien movie.
Yeah, was it Disclosure?
I think so.
Okay, that's his. No, I have not. And that's playing at our local drive-in that we have been wanting to get to. So that's a possibility.
That would be
I
cool
did
to
want to
get
see that one. I remember looking
Did
it
you?
up and yeah. And did you see it?
No, but I want to.
Do you have an idea what the premise is? Because I really don't.
I don't want to know too much. I've seen the previews, and that's actually more than I want. So.
You say you wouldn't want to disclose too much?
Waka waka.
You don't know, so you can't really disclose anything. But there's a low. I think it was fruit just like rotting on the ground.
You got to take the easy layups. Yeah, points are points. So.
Like an easy layup on a kid's knocked over play school hoop.
Yep, there's low-hanging fruit, and there's that can of Del Monte that was opened 2 weeks ago just so someone could get the cherry out of the fruit cocktail that had been sitting there rotting the whole time, and that's probably closer to what that was.
Totally, yeah. But put in the right bag with the right ingredients, that could be good hooch.
Wow. And just like that, we're into prison hooch. Actually, since we're in the segue game that AI has been doing so well, that's actually a pretty decent segue. So I finished another book this week. I don't want to talk too much about it because there's a lot of correlation in there between what Jim Logan talks about in his book, like action, action, action. I read the book, the autobiography by Damien Echols. Does that name sound familiar to either one of you?
Yeah, but I don't know why.
He was one of 3 kids who were wrongfully convicted of murder back in the early 90s in West Memphis, Arkansas. They were known as the West Memphis Three. People made up these huge stories about satanic rituals, blah, 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 all this stuff, and, picked up these 3 kids, and they just got railroaded by a corrupt system from before day one. Somebody had it out for them, was looking for them, and it's so bonkers. The only thing that drew any attention to this was HBO made a documentary, and then 3 other documentaries and other books followed. Paradise Lost is the name of the documentary. I remember seeing it back, in the day when it came out, and I remember it drawing some attention. I remember it being in the zeitgeist, in the air, and it was really interesting to me that this shit happens every day in prisons across America. It's just the most gruesome thing that he describes. Day-to-day life is just demoralizing, right? And that's by design. And they got railroaded by everybody along the way, prosecutors, judges. They didn't have any money to put on any decent defense, right? So this one in a gazillion case, gets some attention because of a documentary. Eddie Vedder gets involved. Johnny Depp gets involved. Henry Rollins gets involved. Peter Jackson gets involved. And it still takes, this guy spent 18 years in prison on death row, right? On death row, right? At this point, already having signed papers that say, I know I'm going to be executed. They're going to pick a date soon. The process is happening. It's one of the most fucked up things that happens. Oh, you have to sign away your rights, but we'll get them back. Is built into the system. So, right. So only because this thing gets this tremendous amount of attention from all the right people that have the resources to do this stuff, right? Does this guy not get executed and he gets out and has, some sort of life after this, and just getting that the meat grinder that is the system just doesn't even care. It's just people like this, poor people that just get churned up day in and day out. And I don't know, can't even remember what you said to get me started on this chronic, but where it overlaps with the book that Jim Logan wrote And his, like, what he preaches in, inside of his stuff is like, it's all about action. Like, right. It's like, you have to take action. Like, you can wallow in your situation. Like, this dude's getting beaten. Like, he's like, I mean, the conditions are terrible. He's in the hole all the time. And the really fucked up part about it is the more attention that his case gets, like, the more he's being interviewed for documentaries and reports, the more they fucking beat him. The harder they fucking make it, the more shit they take away, because now it's making them look bad. And it's
taking it
like every step along the way, every fucking prison guard, every warden. I mean, just he doesn't describe one person that had like a fucking soul.
What about the other two guys? You mentioned there were 3 of them.
So, yeah. And the entire case hinged on a confession made by one of those 3. His name is Jesse Miss Kelly. And he was a little younger than them. He had an IQ of about 67. And he spent, I believe, 12 hours being interrogated by sheriffs until they recorded like 40 minutes of a confession that didn't make any sense, which he immediately recanted, which they still allowed to be presented as evidence. Okay. So
Jeez.
if it didn't actually happen to 3 people, it would be, and many more who are never going to have books and documentaries written about them, it would be satirically comical. I mean, it's so bad to the point where, okay, now you've got celebrities paying for DNA testing. They've got mountains of evidence there was never any physical evidence that any 3 of those kids were at the crime scene, just to start with. So, and it even got worse from there. Like, they got like the testimony of a neighbor who was some hysteric woman that just claimed there were Satanists all over the fucking area. Like, it was so bad, right? So 18 years later, 17 years later, whatever, and you got this mountain of evidence, all the tests, it can't possibly be these 3, right? Everybody knows the state of Arkansas fucked up. The state of Arkansas knows they fucked up, but still got to keep that machine rolling. So what do? They pull some bullshit legal maneuver from wherever way back when. I think it's called like the Alfred ruling or plea or something like that, where they technically have to say they did the thing and the state will release them. This is the Supreme Court where they'll be like, you have to say you did it. We're going to say you shouldn't have done that, but you got what you deserved and you can't sue us. You can't come back at us is basically what it all boiled down to.
That makes sense. You're guilty of it, even though you're out. So that way you can't say
that. It's so.
And how many cases like that are there, right?
Thousands,
that don't get that
tens
attention.
of thousands. Like,
yep.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But
people being railroaded,
just having creating some kind of routine, some kind of action that he could do every day. Like, he could read, he could keep his mind. Like, the only things that he talks about, like, the only things that didn't break him, like, time after time. And it's like, as I was finishing up that book and reading, Jim Logan's book, it was like trying to find some relatability for an interview that kind of came out of nowhere. I was like, wow, there was a lot of that inside that book for sure. And highly recommend it.
Was it Dylan that sang Hurricane?
Yeah.
Paul Simon.
I believe Dylan wrote it.
Yeah, that song always, to me, that's the first case that I can recall of a man totally being framed,
Yeah.
Yeah, blatant, out there.
And did Denzel Washington play that boxer in the movie?
Certainly did.
Comes the story of the hurricane. It's a good jam.
It is.
So those are the things that, like just kind of like what you said, and like we've been saying, not to restate the obvious, but it takes, and it's kind of sad that that's what it takes to get people to be, rallied around a cause of, like, again, like I said, we all know that this is happening all over the place, but they happen to make one song is made and it draws attention to this one case, and they get that, and it's great that person gets off, because every victory to get a free person out of that is awesome. But it's just kind of unfortunate that as Americans, we don't think like, oh, hey, maybe we should look under this rock and try to free this guy, like it just kind of sticks with that one, cultural icon that was made, like, and I don't think that's what the intent of Bob Dylan was, or the intent of anybody else that, tries to elevate somebody or tries to free that person. But unfortunately, that's kind of the result it gets, I guess. I would like to, and I don't know how you continue to keep that momentum rolling.
Well, maybe, just maybe, we should do away with for-profit prisons.
That'd be a great thing. I think we
Interesting, but
also like to tell ourselves stories that aren't true about the prison system and the justice system. Like you hear people, say when cases come up, oh, well, they'll have their day in court. Like, well, only if you can
mm,
afford it.
yep,
Most
it's
people
all money,
have to plead to some lesser charge because they threaten them. Like, what are you going to do? Are you going to drag this out for a couple of years and they know they don't have the money to do it? So, we like to think that the evidence is presented and everybody on both sides is doing their job, but man, it's a bunch of shady fuckers. Like it's like legalized corruption.
yep. Palms
I don't know
greasing
how you can
palms.
find a non-biased jury these days in most cases. Gotta be tough.
Yeah, because you don't. Everyone sees everything happening in real time. Whereas
Everything's so
before,
divided these days. It's almost impossible to find somebody that's not divided on something.
yeah,
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 I read a story lately, just recently about that too. Like there was some case and like one lady on the jury like Googled some shit about the case and like fucked it all up.
is her
So
name
is
Karen?
mistrial or what?
I don't remember any of the details, but it was kind of like that. Like, yeah, even if you could like, sequester. Well, I mean, there'd be things like I don't know. Not everything's a big ass case. You'd have, what would it'd have to be like some P. Diddy level shit for me to be like, well, yeah, I probably shouldn't be on this one. I think that dude probably did that shit.
Right, but I don't even know what kind of court cases they'd have. Like, I mean, I guess there's embezzlement cases and stuff. Like quote unquote low level embezzlement cases and fraud and stuff that. I've been called to jury duty maybe once and then never, actually twice. Once just didn't get called in after I signed up for it. And the other time I was out of the area and got out of it, but
See,
I've never gone in.
I had to go to the courthouse once for a couple of days, and then
Me
one
too.
time I got because I deferred it one time because I was working out of town, so they kind of came right back to me, and I got on like a federal jury pool, but all that required was me calling in like for like a couple of weeks. So I had to be available for like I don't know 6 weeks or something like that. But I never got
Huh.
called in to do anything. So that
I got
and actually
called
doing
in
that
one
just
day,
that like that was my service, like calling in and doing that. It's like okay, you won't get called for however many more years. I'm like.
and mine was
Okay.
a murder case.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So we're sitting there. There's a bunch of us being. I don't even remember being asked anything. I don't think they asked me anything. But it was basically they would ask a question. Okay, raise your hand if you believe. Hands would be raised. And I'm like, all right, let me take a good one where I can get dismissed. And I was like,
Hmm.
I can't answer, because I didn't want to lie to myself. So, but I just never got called. I never got dismissed. I never got called. So it's kind of weird.
It was neat. The one where I got called to the courthouse, it was in Lincoln County, smaller city than Charlotte for sure. And they would always ask like prospective jurors, like if they knew either one of the lawyers, right? And apparently, like the
Huh.
one lawyer was totally local and it like, oh yeah, he did the closing on my house. Oh yeah, he did this for me. Oh yeah, he did that for me. Like, so it's like, okay, so
Do you want the segue game again?
yeah, go for it, man. You were
You
doing
said
great.
something a minute ago that made me think of stock documentary.
Which you mentioned last episode.
Yeah.
Thanks
Got the
for
title. I couldn't think of the title. It's called Woodstock: 3 Days That Defined a Generation. Put on PBS recently. Just really enjoyed watching it, and just a few takeaways. Let me go back to my notes here. Oh, basically, like 3 or 4. You guys may know this. I did not know it. There were like 3 or 4 music producers, upstate New York. Let's put together this music festival. Long story short, getting kicked out. So they're basically ready for this little festival. They're expecting like 40,000 people. I want to say like 2 or 3 weeks before. So they've contacted the bands. They've got some bands lined up. They've built a stage, blah, blah, blah. The town says, nah, we're not going to have this. So after they've committed all these funds, spent all this time, now they've got to scramble to find another location. They find this farmer in upstate New York. Name was Max Yasker. Approach him. They're like, hey, man, can we rent your farm? He's a farmer, a known Republican, very conservative. And they're upfront with it. They're like, hey, we're going to have bands. It's going to be just a chill atmosphere. And to his credit, he goes, okay. He said, he said to himself, I'm curious to see if the youth of this generation, and we're talking about 1969, I want to see if the youth of the flower child generation can coexist peacefully. I want it to succeed. I'm hoping it does succeed, and I'm going to give them an opportunity. That's something you probably associate with a Democrat at the time, but a Republican does this.
I know. Actually, that does sound like a Republican from 1969 when they still had some common sense and ethics.
Well,
and
yeah.
I would absolutely agree with that. He was like, all right, show me what you got.
So they make a deal with him. They still have all the bands lined up, but time's running short. They got to build a big stage. They have to build a fence around the farm so they can charge admission.
I'm slightly curious how they're powering this festival.
There's all kind of logistics they got to scramble to put together. Well, they run out of time. And basically the people working on is like, we can finish maybe one of the three things. We can finish the stage, the fence, whatever. And the producers are like, we got to have the fence or we can't charge admission. We got to have a gate or we can't charge admission. Got to have the stage or there's no show. So they decided, no brainer, put up the stage. So they finished the stage like literally the night before the show is to go on. They've spent all this money. They're expecting like 40,000 people. Let me get my numbers here. 100,000 plus. So we're talking about 10 times the amount that they were expecting. And they're like, this is awesome, but we're not prepared. Finally, they had to make an announcement. The show is now free. People are just walking in, so it's not fair to charge anybody else. So they're eating all this cost. There are 0 fights, 400,000 people, a few medical issues because of weather and drugs and stuff.
You're going to have that at anything.
Yeah,
sure.
But it was just a smashing success. Could not have in today's society. Not a chance.
Well, we saw what happened at part 2, didn't we?
Not a chance.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be crashed by people who did not want it to happen, and things would turn ugly.
Oh, yeah, compared to Woodstock 99. It was a literal shit show because
Well, tell me about 99. I don't remember 99.
Well, they ran out of water.
Yeah.
First of all, it was a totally different vibe.
Limp Bizkit was in.
Yes.
I mean, that's
okay.
That break shit was not a good song to play after people don't have water. And
I think there were multiple reports of rapes. The porta-johns, once they were full, they got flipped over and they were just basically turned into like what people thought was a big field of mud, but there was a lot of not mud mixed in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the anti-Woodstock, the $6 at that point, 99 for a bottle of water, and then running out so they were charging for everything, It was a shit show.
Was
All
it
about
in
profit.
Woodstock, New York, in the Woodstock area? Whatever.
I don't know. Kind of doubt it. Yeah, I do kind of doubt it.
Yeah, doesn't make sense that it'd be there, but definitely not in the same exact area.
Now, I do have the whole Woodstock soundtrack on vinyl, so that's always fun to listen to. And they make like the announcements and stuff too between some of the shows.
Yeah, cool.
And I know too, like some of the bands that played, their management wouldn't let them be in the film. And it's hard to blame them for at the time, like, oh, you're just gonna because Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, like they had, they were a pretty decent sized band. Like, yeah, you're not gonna promote your, just for free. You're gonna pay. Like, they didn't get much money at all to play. Like, I think Hendrix got the most.
They spent $300,000 total in performer fee. Total for all.
I want to say Hendrix got the most at like $8,000 or something. Like, and he, so it wasn't paying well. Wasn't Martin Scorsese doing a documentary then, or no? Am I thinking of the
That's
other
how
one?
ended up breaking even was through the
Was
film.
because of the movie, the film.
Yeah.
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 Okay. And then, well, Joni Mitchell wrote the song, but she wasn't there, right?
She was not in the documentary, so
Yeah.
but not all the performers were. So.
Right. So no, it's a good album, a couple of albums to listen to. Your buddy, Crazy George, Dino's friend, he way later on in life, I don't know, I was going to a concert or something and mentioned it to him, and he's like, I don't pay to go to shows anymore. I paid $5 to see music for 3 days. That was he paid, Woodstock. He's like, I'll never pay to see another show again. Like,
I mean, so I walked away from it going, man, I wish I could have attended that. It had very, very peaceful vibes.
you should look up, what is the documentary that Questlove made about like the Summer of Joy or something? There was a music festival in Harlem, like, and if you get to
Is it
see,
Joy?
say again, Summer of Joy.
I'm sorry. I was trying to
Yes,
think of it.
Summer
If
of
it
Joy or
was
something like
called
that.
Summer of
It might
Soul.
be.
Summer of Soul, but it talked about a music fest that happened in New York, and I watched the movie, and you get to see Stevie Wonder play drums. That's pretty fucking impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently, it got overshadowed because it was at the same time as the moon landing, so it didn't get much promotion or talk or anything about it like that. But fucking music was banging, and yeah, it was the same kind of deal. Like the crowd was real chill, and everyone just had a good time. So look that one up.
All right. Yep.
Yeah. I did see that one, and that was opened up. I added a lot of music to some Spotify playlists after that
can imagine.
documentary. Yeah.
It wasn't like Sly and the Family Stone there, and like,
Well, they were in both.
Roberta
Then, 'cause they
Flack,
were in
Nina
Woodstock.
Simone.
okay. And apparently Sly was like one of them musical genius types. Like he was like next level.
Yeah.
Somebody
Very
in the
talented.
Woodstock documentary said he gave the best performance. Stock.
Damn. Well, that's saying something.
Yeah, definitely. Because there's a lot of good performers there. A lot of good things happening. Yeah, that is some things you'll never see again. Do you think that was that was the first big concert like that? Like Bonnaroo or any of those big like British festivals. Like was there anything before that was like that, or did that kind of set the stage for stuff like that?
Montreal Jazz
The way I
Fest,
always
or didn't they do jazz and
When was
pops?
that?
Right in Montreal, they would do a lot of
Yeah.
festivals.
But
before
did they have
69?
like?
I didn't hear the question. What was the question?
I was just gonna say but did they have? And I don't know because I didn't. So maybe that's what you're saying. And they were like, I mean, it was that big, like that many, like hundreds of thousands of people, kind of centered in like seeing several stages, kind of back and forth. Or I don't.
I can't speak to how the festivals look then. I know, when it comes to huge crowds and big shows, like Brazil does really well with that. Like they've always, and it's not just Rio, it's the other big city I can't think of the name of in Brazil. But my guess would be that kind of music festival scene was probably bigger in Europe before it caught on here. Europe, Canada, South America.
Before 1969?
Yeah, I would think so. I would think in the 40s and 50s they were probably doing stuff in Europe.
Okay.
Who knows? I'm just making shit up.
Yeah, not me. Hence the questions.
Yeah, right.
No.
All right, so I guess with that, we're just gonna have to move on to the ridiculous headlines of the week.
What you got? Let's hear them.
Well, like I said, man, I kind of get disappointed just because there's so much like real craziness that goes on. But mysterious giant metal spheres that washed up on Queensland, Australia beach were officially identified by experts as pressure vessels discarded from an old space launch. Yeah.
Huh.
So I actually clicked that one to see. And they look like big metal balls for sure.
Just giant metal balls from as part of a space launch. Pressure containers? Under
Yep.
pressure containers?
Pressure vessels from a space launch.
Are they blue? They seem to be blue balls.
Oh,
or-
tint. They got to have a little bit of a blue tint to them. So
I
probably
mean,
they might have been
sometimes
up
what you
there
got to
for
do
a
with
while.
those things. Yeah, you just got to rub on them a little bit to depressurize them.
Yeah. Moving on.
Let that rocket, take
Blasted
off.
right off, didn't it?
Blast it off, baby. I mean, that's the way to take care of it.
That would be definitely just let the rocket do what it needs to do, huh? Just, breathe deep, let it happen.
Release pressure.
Solves a lot of world problems, I feel like. If we just, got rid of the rockets, we just de-escalate the rockets.
That's how bonobos settle their issues. They have sex. They start to get into a fight. They're like, nah, let's fuck instead. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we're all good now. Okay.
What were we angry about? I don't know. I want a fucking sandwich.
Right,
Like,
you good?
exactly.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't care. What? Whatever you say, that's how it is. Yep, exactly.
Good job, bonobos.
Hey, sometimes you got to resort back to that monkey brain to solve problems. Use
We
today's
complicate
technology. Pause the goddamn show, do the sex, come back. Like, right? Make it work for you. All
Absolutely.
right. I don't know how this qualifies as ridiculous headline of the week, but a dedicated dog walker in Buenos Aires went viral for turning his pack of 13 rescue dogs into local celebrities by dressing them in miniature Argentina World Cup jerseys.
I mean that's got to go viral, right?
I mean, yeah, but is it ridiculous?
It's not ridiculous. Cute.
In my point of view, it's ridiculous to go to that much fucking work to put clothes on fucking dogs. That's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous to have 13 fucking dogs.
Yeah. And there's not 13 people on, what is it, the coach and the athletic trainer? Because it's supposed to be 11 players and the goalie. That's 12. What's the 13? 13th player or the coach?
It's too many players.
Too many men, too many dogs on the field.
Too many dogs on the field gets called out. All right. Okay. In other sporting news, a regional cricket match in Newcastle, England was unexpectedly called off when a loose, angry bull wandered onto the pitch and charged at the players.
Oh.
I think that would make soccer a little more fucking exciting. A couple bulls or like some animals running around out there that could eat your ass.
Yeah, kind of back to add some Roman Coliseum shit to it.
Exactly,
you get
where I was going with
doors.
Or you just pick it's 3 animals per, and you have to pick the animals at random. So it could be a mountain goat, a fucking rhino.
Or you put the silhouette of the animal over the goal, and you have to choose: are you getting a goal, or are you targeting the animal that you want released? Right? And maybe you pick a chicken as opposed to, say, the lion or the bull, right? But you got to get that chicken out.
So it's like a silhouette shooting gallery of what could come out next.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And over the goal, you got to make that choice. It's a.
And trap doors, tar pits, sand, any of that kind of stuff would make soccer more interesting. But as we've discussed, if they would just shrink the shit down, fucking put ice all over it, paint some lines on it, limit us to 5 players, they would have been just fine all along.
At least golf has sand bunkers and water. They have obstacles.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, golf needs to put alligators in. Like that time I came down to when you were living in Wilmington and we went golfing, and I hit a ball right up next to the water, and I'm getting down on it, do all my deal and get down, and he's wait till I'm halfway in my backswing. He's like, "Oh yeah, beware of alligators." I'm like, "Well, I'm done here." I don't do beware of alligators. I don't play in those places. It's what? He's like, "Oh yeah." Yeah. Not quite the last time I golfed, but probably pretty close.
Pretty close to it, yeah.
All right, we've got 2 more. Let's see. Oh, this one. We're going to segue right from sports to sports with the animal to another animal story. All right. Well, this is working out well. The segue game worked out well today. Really well it did. Australian officials are urging tourists to respect the privacy of Neil, a 2,200-pound elephant seal who has taken over a coastal town and causes property damage wherever he lounges. What? That's amazing.
He's huge. He's been around for a while. I don't know why he's news again.
You've seen this one, okay?
Oh, yeah, Neil the seal, over a ton, 2,200 pounds.
2,200 pounds.
22.
Looks even bigger than that.
Those
I mean,
things
you
are just
know,
big and smelly. Ugh.
you know the old line, right? What does a 2,200-pound seal do?
Whatever the fuck he wants.
Exactly. He wants to take up the street. He's going to take up the street.
Yeah, those
He's
bitches.
Best you
causing like
accommodate him.
property damage. He's causing some issues.
Yeah, they can throw their weight around.
Yeah.
All right.
I like it though. I like that they're, acquiescing to him. That's cool because usually we don't do that as humans.
I'm saving my best for last. I'm also not saying that this qualifies as ridiculous. This might actually qualify as irresponsible on a lot of levels.
Mm.
And I'm just it says so right in the first two words, so it's not Florida. An Arizona toddler discovered in a backyard pool was declared dead by hospital staff, but was found breathing hours later in the hospital morgue.
Is it Jesus baby?
I started
Rising
reading
from the
some of
dead?
the story, and it said 2 police officers saw possible signs of life multiple times, but the child was still taken to the hospital's cold room after being treated by staff. This is after he's been to the hospital. So he's already been in the pool for 20 minutes, like taken to the hospital from the house, and 2 officers are doing it like, nah, throw him in the fucking freezer. Like,
Yeah. That's
like,
and it's
and it was literally like 4 or 5 hours later. 5 hours
Wow.
later, police were notified that the child was indeed breathing, and he was flown to another hospital.
A
Yeah,
good call
hopefully a
there.
Yeah,
warm
good
one.
call.
Yeah. What
Jeez.
the hell?
Where were the
Yeah.
parents in all this?
Well, I don't know. All
What
they
part of
said-
Arizona was this? Was this a Tempe or a Tucson story?
And was this
Maricopa
Nick
County.
Cage involved? Was there
Nick
like baby
Cage.
robbing?
One of my favorite movies. So Gilbert police are recommending negligence charges against the parents. Investigators said there was a strong odor of marijuana at the home and open doors that could have allowed unsupervised access to the pool.
Mm-hmm. A likely story. Yeah,
Damn
I tell
potheads.
you can't trust them weed heads. That's potheads are the sole reason that we have those stupid fucking warnings to tell you to check your back seat for a child. Jesus. If you can't, I'm sorry, save the child, but fucking shoot the parent. If you have to fucking be reminded to check your back seat for your child.
Well, there's a campaign slogan.
Hey, vote for me 2030. I'll be ready in the 30s.
I'm thinking about the future because I'm killing the fucking parents.
That's
Kids can
right.
live. All right. Well, the
It's
end took a
like all
violent
the-
turn tonight.
It was. Well, yeah, hey,
Is what it is.
sometimes you gotta tell people like it is.
Now that one kind of got me curious. I was like, what do you like 5 hours, this little kid, like
Yeah.
this little toddler?
And I wonder, was it, how they talk about, and I doubt it because they said, but like taking him to the cold room, or right, like you all heard story, like sometimes if it's a colder type drowning, right, it helps
Yeah,
preserve
right. Preserve.
So I wonder if that had anything. God, I hope the kid's all right.
It seems
like
like he's
there's not
going to
any
be
permanent
fine.
damage.
Like it
Really?
doesn't say anything. He's been released.
resilient.
Yeah. And I think there's a lot to be said for that cold. Like I was reading some crazy art, like some turtles or tortoises, like they totally freeze. And there was a picture like of a turtle upside down, like of under the ice, of someone like on top of the ice taking a picture. Like I read articles of these frogs that go into total frozen stasis and then come back out of it in the spring. Like,
Yeah.
they need
It's a
nothing.
thing.
Like there's some crazy shit going on in nature, and somewhere there's a capitalist trying to fucking capture it and make $1 billion off of it.
I mean, which is really friggin' cool. And I mean, I get obviously like, things cost money to do and stuff, but it's just kind of shitty that like regrowing limbs, right, from the newts and stuff that can redo that, like amazing technology and stuff. But when only the ultra elite can afford to do it, it's not that cool to me. If I would need
And
to say
maybe-
regrow a thumb or something, but
Maybe if you see that like a lot of these cures and answers to your questions and all these wonderful technologies are starting in nature, maybe don't destroy the fucking nature.
yeah, maybe.
Maybe don't burn down the rainforest and pollute and poison the goddamn water and the air. If you think, hey, maybe nature holds some of the secrets.
It's real good.
She ain't gonna cough up her secrets for you,
Hell no.
And I'm reading
It's
about
like-
like plants that like digest, microplastics and pull shit formaldehyde and shit out of the air. Like, Yeah. Just leave the shit alone. Like,
I mean, that's one of the things, like swampland, marshland, and those estuary areas and stuff, where there's a lot of, sediment, marshes, weed grasses and stuff that filter out all the crap out of the water and stuff. And, now instead of that, we're like, oh, we'll just have drainage ponds on the side of a parking lot that flows right directly into it's there's solutions to pretty much all of our problems are probably already out there in nature if we just would design to the world that we live in instead of trying to change it, like design to it instead of designing, trying to conform it to us.
Are you saying the creator of this world is smarter than we are?
I mean, could be. I don't know. If he created us in his image, no.
I just think that the whole ecosystem and the way things work without us is a lot smarter than we are. And just in a total, the way we operate is to just destroy and then try. Like, we don't even try to rebuild. We basically just destroy it, flatten it, and then just plop some other bullshit on top of it. It's like, and then strip the resources everywhere you can and then claim you did it all by yourself.
I've been hearing, and you hear it a lot. I don't know, so I was watching with my dad and stuff this weekend. Dad watches a lot of TV and stuff. He was flipping through channels while we were watching sometimes soccer, sometimes other stuff. We were watching CNN's celebration of the 250, the America 250. And they were doing coverage of, the tall ships. I think that's what we were specifically watching at the time was the tall ships coming into the harbor.
We caught the New York celebration with all the naval vessels coming in. That was really great. Yeah, New York really did it up.
Yeah, very cool. So we're watching that coverage. And then every once in a while, they let people call in to say, like, what do you like about America, right? And it was awesome because it was anyone could call in and say anything. So you got to hear some interesting stuff.
Oh, boy.
But, there was one caller who said something and started talking about, the George Washington said this nation was given to us through the providence of God and this and that. I'm like, cut that shit out. Cause like, there were people, it wasn't like just a land that was uninhabited, free for us to take. Like, oh, hey, look, we had to come here and subjugate and destroy an entire culture. Just one. We could just lump it as white Americans. We lump it into one. Cultures we destroyed that, and I like where we're at. I like mountain biking. I like, all kinds of things that I have right now, but the Indians' way of life and stuff, that symbiosis with nature and stuff. Like if you didn't know any better, if I didn't know kind of like that ignorance and bliss, if I didn't know what I was missing now, even eschewing modern medicine and stuff, I guess like living with that nature, that cycle of nature where like we know we hunt, we don't take more than we need, we use everything that we take, we don't waste, we love mother, or that mother nature, father sky, all that stuff. That was that was pure, and we just came over and fucking wasted it.
Well, I mean, come on.
Out all the buffalo just because that's the source of sustenance for the Native Americans.
Yeah.
That's the only reason.
And they're easy to shoot from the sides of trains.
They served more than one god. What are we supposed to do?
Yeah. Those heathens.
Exactly. Fucking savages.
Savages.
Yeah. So
savages.
History lesson, kids.
And
white people suck.
Yeah. Right. You're white Europeans. Older white Europeans.
Always suck.
Yeah.
Who's the master documentarian?
Ken Burns.
Ken Burns. So one of the many, many experts he had researching his Revolutionary War, a theory that, of course, yes, taxation without representation was a major reason why we wanted revolt against Britain. But he said the reason, in his opinion, just in this guy's opinion, was we wanted to take more Indian land. Evidently, King George said, here's the line, this line we cannot cross. The line west of the Appalachians, basically, is Native Americans, not for us to touch. George Washington's like, hell with that. I want Ohio. I want that. So supposedly reason number 2 was we want to explore westward. King George isn't letting us.
I had heard that. I believe I'd heard that.
Okay.
In the myriad of, because again, it's not just 1 or 2 or 3. There's a myriad of reasons, that we went to war, obviously, and stuff. But I had heard that as one of them for sure was the way expansion was going and stuff, and maybe it was because the crown didn't think they could police that much area, and they already knew it was maybe contested with France and Spain owning some of those areas, or claiming ownership of those areas, and then the Indians and the French were kind of, I'd probably out of the enemy of my enemy is my friend more than anything, but they were in cahoots with each other.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta be curious. Would they have stayed away from Indian land or wanted to? Did they think they could beat them militarily? Were they that confident?
They being Washington and
Yeah, whoever was representing
colonials?
America at that time and the colonies.
The impression I got was that Washington and the people wanted just to go claim the land themselves, not declare war. Just go.
Yeah, I'm just kind of curious
develop
if
it.
if they felt superior militarily, or if they felt like it wouldn't be worth it with the
That's a good
amount of
question.
losses.
So I'm wondering if maybe it's just the way you phrased it right there. But like King George didn't want them to take the land for themselves. It would be okay
Okay.
to take the land for the crown of England, but not for yourselves. And maybe they were like, well, no, we're here. We're going to take it for us. And that when he was just kind of like, nah, we're not taking any more land because I can't get troops over there. Or maybe or like, no, you can't take land in your name. You can take land in my name. I don't know.
Or we
Which
have
I don't
enough
know.
to
That's just,
defend already. If you expand the borders, that might be too much for us to have to defend now. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, it's not a chunk of history that I know much about,
no.
So.
I did read. Dad had a couple books laying out on the. I read the story of behind the flag with the flag of "Don't give up the ship." That you kind of see floating around everywhere out there. People say, "Don't give up," the ship or whatever. I read the story behind that, and there's a couple other stories about some of the Revolutionary War battles. They're kind of dry. It was very historical. There's kind of some journal entries and stuff, and they had some very basic drawings of how the battles progressed. But it was still interesting, for a little bit, and appropriate for the weekend. So I read them.
Nice. I always feel like we probably should have known like this country was going to get to like where we are now from the way we started, because they left England to get away from the king, right, and the crown, right? It was a part of it anyway, right? And then they have these votes. Certain people get to vote, probably.
Even though all men are created equally.
Yeah, some exclusions do apply. There's exceptions built into that document, and George Washington gets elected the first president. And I believe he served 2 terms, but then they wanted to make him like the permanent president.
Right.
They wanted to make the king like, did none of you motherfuckers pay attention to what we just did? Like somewhere there's a diary like, yeah, give it 200 years. These people are going to fuck this shit up good. Like
the American goldfish.
Yeah.
That short memory.
Exactly. Like no. We're trying something different here, I guess.
And so one of the things, like we've talked about this before in the past in the podcast, and I think at the beginning of it, that was one of the reasons I was reading, like the Federalist Papers and stuff like that. Looking for, just looking for writings from that time of what those people were saying, as opposed to reading things written now about those people's opinions, right? Like, which again, everything is open to anyone's interpretation, but kind of like any game of telephone, right? The less people you have between, I think you're getting a little bit better. But anyway, I'm sitting down. I'm at home, right? So everything's with the parent. So I'm sitting down. Mom's got she does church stuff and some volunteer work for elderly in the community. Goes to their nursing home and has and gives sort of a church service. She's not ordained or anything, but it's just these people can't leave, so she brings a service to them. Something she likes, brings her a lot of joy, and it's good stuff, right? Hey, there's a feel good story for us, right? But so she's got some stuff prepared, and it's about like our founding fathers and their faith and belief in God and the creating of our nation, founding of our nation. And so I kind of picked it up, like, what does this stuff say, right? But I read it, and it really wasn't. I mean, it wasn't too skewed to the fact of like, trying to commit, like it was very much of like, their belief and their faith. But a lot of it was like, in fact, several of the stories very explicitly said, these people believed in the separation of church and state and the freedom of religion and the non-politicization of religion, right? And that was the thing, like they didn't want, religion should be, your faith should be a very personal thing. And, it's something that you cherish. It shouldn't be regulated by somebody above and told what you should do. And that's why, like everyone have your religion. That's fucking cool. I love it. Don't tell other people what to do about their religion and keep the religion out of the government. You rule by your faith. You're not rule, but like, if you're a legislator or a senator or whatever, like if you have to, your morals and stuff, hey, that's what you got to do. And I respect that. But you can't legislate laws based on your beliefs that affect other people's lives. To a point, obviously, like we've made rules that there's no murder. Hey, that's cool. I think we can all agree to that. But, gay marriage and, like all these other things that they're trying to like no, we're not a white Christian nationalist nation. We just can't be. That's not us.
Not an option there, huh?
And I shall step down off the box that I put underneath my computer earlier.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, some things don't need to be enacted into law. If you're against gay marriage, don't get in one.
Yeah. We're not saying everyone has to be in a gay marriage. We're just saying the ones that do can. That's it.
Well, I think we're right back to one of my original big tenets of the cruelty is always the point, right? You have to make sure that these people know that they are not equal, that they are other, they are different, that they should be ashamed of
Inner.
man.
That is, man. A kink shame that they have.
Yeah, it's wild. But that seems like a whole other episode that I do not want to get into right now.
No.
So this is usually where we talk sports, but nobody watches baseball enough to talk about it. The World Cup, we kind of hit at the beginning.
Quick update, kind of sport related, very minor, but to me it's huge. My niece just went this week to Bowling Green, Ohio for her first youth national camp. So nice. This is where her years. Yep, she's trying out for nationals. This is for her getting on the national team, going to the Olympics. So she's starting.
Wow.
Journey starting. Like the real Olympic team. So not a lot of okay. So, because I know she's been playing like all these different levels. This is like the real Olympic team.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's I don't want to try to jinx anything or anything. But she's a hard worker. She's with a lot of talented girls. I mean, she's with girls from all over the nation, and and they're all and it's really cool. Like you go there, you see all the families and stuff, and you see all these young, like, cause you think about it, you just need to see a bunch of, young girls that are coming together and like just being the best athletes that they can be and just becoming empowered by them all getting together and like growing off each other. And it's a very positive environment, very good learning for environment. I was there last night and got to watch them do drills for about 45 minutes.
Nice.
And then she's skating from 9 in the morning to 10, 11 to 12, 12 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 4 to 5, 6 to 7. She's got skating back to back to back to back to back to back. All kinds of drills, all kinds of off ice stuff. She's busy this week, so but I'm proud of her, and that's hey, that's sports.
Cool.
Oh, absolutely. No, I've been following her little adventures for probably a couple of years now. You mentioned it.
Yeah,
all
I think
stuff.
so. Yeah.
So I was like, oh, like the real Olympics, not like the junior woodchuck Olympics, like the big girl Olympics. That's where we're at. All right.
Yeah.
And what is her position? Forward?
She's center forward. Yep.
Gotcha.
Yep. She's extremely strong skater, very talented, precise puck handler. She's a technical. She's a small. She's like kind of like Gretzky. She's not big. She's very small, but she's fast and she's precise. Very technical with everything she does.
Camp herself out right at the corner of the net like Gretzky does, and
that's right.
Those little easy one dingers.
Yep.
Does she score much?
We've been trying to show her some. What's that?
Does she score often? Is she a good scorer?
Yeah, she does. Yep. There's been a few. Their seasons are kind of weird or whatever and stuff, but yeah, she's kind of come with quite a few, like leading goals, leading scorers and stuff. So, And she's in Pittsburgh. She's going to like a private hockey school in Pittsburgh this year. She's at the end
Nice.
of the year. So, you know, well, Catholic school. I can't remember. It's Catholic North something Catholics. I don't know, but
All right.
it's good. Yeah, be a good school.
So, like, has she been basically playing in the same like league? Because I know she's been all over the world.
She has, yeah. So league is kind of, it's not like, it's not like the NHL league, right? So sure, so as they do a lot of they kind of group them by age. So I guess maybe that's a better way to term it, is by age group. She's kind of been doing
I'm
tournaments
gonna
and
say it
stuff
this
through
way.
her
Ask
age
it
group.
this way: has she been
Okay.
playing with the same group of girls pretty much this whole time, or has it been a lot of different groups of girls?
A lot of different groups of girls. She was playing on all boys teams up until maybe like 3 or 4 years ago. I mean, very recently she was on all boys teams. And then just got to the point where, I mean, just because the talent is there, but there starts to become physical,
Yeah.
and stuff, and they start separating them. And but yeah, and then she was on, I think she was on a couple teams, Victory Honda. Then she went to this is apparently, I didn't know this until she got on it. And I was down at playing drop-in hockey in South Carolina, and some people came in and started talking about Little Caesars hockey. I didn't even know that was like a big deal. But apparently playing for Little Caesars hockey, which is like the farm, like young farm team for the Detroit Red Wings, it's apparently a really big deal. She played for them for a couple seasons. She was on a team in Chicago, and now she's going to a Pittsburgh team.
Nice.
So she's played with a lot of the same girls, but almost every season, maybe every other season, it's basically a new team and stuff. So
That's even more impressive, like for her and for like the coaches and that, because like to kind of get that, to just okay, you are now a team. Like that takes on a certain energy, like right. And then you have to kind of get that groove with people and get that timing and that flow.
And you see it because there've been good grooves and there've been bad grooves. But and my sister, is real good at, it's probably better at me than doing this. That's why she's an awesome mom. But she's very good at making these things life lessons for my niece to say, like teaching lessons, say, hey, everything isn't always rainbows and sunshine, but you make the best of what you get. And you gotta, you got to deal with the people that you deal with. You deal with the coaches that you have, but you still go out and you work hard and you play your best game and let everything else, fall where it falls. So good experiences all around, right?
Absolutely. This is the team we're putting on the ice today. So you can complain about all you want.
Can't be cheap to support, I would imagine. It's got to be expensive.
Yeah.
No, I don't know how she does it. I think I think she's got a money tree that she's not sharing with the rest of the family because we'd pick it.
Maybe she's the one in the family growing the good weed.
Right? She might be. I need to find that room in the house. But yeah, I don't know how she does it. It is not cheap. It is not cheap. So we'll put up the link to the GoFundMe the show notes. Just kidding. But no, it's not cheap. And there's some families we play with, and they have like multiple kids doing travel hockey and travel sports. Like, I don't know how they do it.
Oh, I know. We've
rich.
gone down when my nephews are in town. My brother will bring my nephews down to Rock Hill for the BMX races, and man, it's like some families that's what they do half the year, and they've got $2 million, rigs, RVs with trailers. Like they're not even like regular RVs; they're like powered by a Peterbilt or some shit. Like right, like they're massive. That's what they do. And man.
Do.
If you got the resources and your kids into it, and hey, do it up. If that's your lifestyle at that point, like that's what you're doing.
And it very much is. And that's like, I mean, it's hockey is the best fucking sport. Have we not talked about this
said
enough?
That enough?
But
He
like
is the best.
The hanging out with the hockey families, and I don't do much with some of the other sports. I've done with like Crumb's family at baseball and stuff, and it's similar. And I've gone to other like soccer tournaments and stuff. But like the tailgating at hockey events as parents is the best. It's beers open as soon as you get there, sneaking beers into the rink as much as you can if they don't let you. Most of the rinks have bars in the rink that overlook the rinks that you can sit in the bars and drink while you're watching the hockey. While the kids are running amok at the, at like the tournaments and stuff, while the kids are running amok in the hotels late at night, The parents are just getting shit housed, canned and stuff, and just destroying hotels. And kids are playing mini sticks in the hallways and running all over the place. It's so awesome. It's just I haven't had more fun anywhere else. It's fantastic.
So it's an alcoholic retreat where
It is.
kids
Do
play
yourself
hockey.
a favor. If you like to drink, just go find a hotel
Find a kid
that's
that can
got
play
a
some hockey.
youth hockey tournament, and just kind of get a room there, and just not in a weird, creepy pedophile way, but just ingratiate yourself
No.
into the group of people, and it's an amazing, fun fucking time. Let me
If
tell
you
you.
want to be
It's
an
great.
undercover alcoholic, make sure your kid's good at a sport,
Yes.
preferably
Works
hockey.
wonders. Yeah, preferably. Yeah. It's very easy. That's probably one of the easiest sports, I think.
All right. With that, I'm done.
Right. Spent.
AI, you got what do you got? Did you got like a wrap up for this week, or did you have anything?
You know
prepared
what?
for
I
your
didn't
ending?
prepare anything this week, so we'll let Chronic wrap it up with that nice little hockey anecdote.
Yeah, if you want to be an alcoholic and get away with it, hang around with hockey parents.
That's it. That's it. It's my words of wisdom. Words to live by.
Until next time. All right.
Peace, guys.